we all work on passing, but I hear coaches oftentimes complain about turnovers. How do I eliminate turnovers? My team is they don't look to see where they're passing it. They don't take care of the ball very well. Things like that. And a lot of times this is lower level stuff. We're talking seventh, eighth, ninth graders, but I've heard varsity coaches say the same thing, that they're just too many turnovers. And passing is a skill that needs to be worked on. But there are a few things we can do to help our players know when to pass, when not to pass, and get themselves in good situations. So the first is, can you see the player's hands or can you see the player's numbers? If you can't see their hands or their numbers, it's probably not a pass that you need to make. So even if it's on a fast break, it's on a fast break and you're seeing the guy's shoulder and you're not seeing two hands up in the air ready to pass it, or you're not seeing the guy's number on the front of his chest or the lady's number on the front of her chest, don't pass the ball. When you give them that rule, you automatically eliminate maybe a scoring opportunity if it's on a fast break, but you keep control of the ball. So ask yourself, if we're turning the ball over 50% of the time, we have fast break opportunities. That's too much. So keep the ball 100% of your possessions instead of giving up 50% of them. So it comes down to the numbers. How are you going to stay in this game if turnovers are plaguing your team? It's going to be eliminate turnovers. How do we eliminate turnovers? We give them simple rules to follow. Did you see the player's hands? If their hands weren't up and open, don't pass it. Did you see the player's number on their chest? We need to see both of those things. Okay. And of course, there are some times where players just wide open and you can throw it down the court and get a layup, that kind of thing. But I'm talking about when there's a defender in the way and they're having to make decisions. If you're not a good passing team, give them some parameters. Next is use those pivots to create passing lanes. This is going to be in the half court or after a rebound. I don't know how many times I've seen a big guy grab the rebound, turn and throw it to their outlet, but they didn't turn their whole body. They didn't pivot. Therefore, their pass was kind of weak. It was a little bit of a lob. It gets picked off, and now the other team has the ball again. So a good pivot would have put them in a situation where they could have made a good, strong pass. So it works on both ends when you're first getting the ball to open up into transition, or you're in your half-court set and you're trying to run your offense. Third, know when to bounce pass, chest pass, and overhead pass. These things are things that you have to coach them in practice, that you have to get going, that you have to make sure that the players understand. Bounce passes are great for getting the ball into the post. Chest pass, and I'm not talking traditional chest pass. You rarely see after the youth level a two-handed true chest pass, but you have a pass at the chest level, might be with one hand, but where you're really swinging the ball fast, you're really trying to get it to somebody. So that's what I'm talking about when I say chest pass. And then the overhead pass, that long pass down the court to somebody after a rebound. Maybe it's after a made basket, you're taking the ball out of bounds. But knowing when to use those. The other thing is know when and how to use a one-handed pass. That used to be that you don't ever throw the one-handed pass because you can't take it back. And I'm probably an 85% of the time coach where one-handed passes, I don't want them. And I don't want them because players get this idea in their hands where they're going to throw the ball and then they don't like it anymore, but they don't have the ability to take the ball back. So that ball is gone and it's going to be a turnover most of the time. So, but can you use a one-handed pass? Certainly. There are players who are capable of doing one-handed passes. There are players who use it very effectively. And these are my 15% guys. These are the players who have kind of exceptional abilities and see the floor extremely well. They're going to make some passes and do some things that 85% of the players on the floor can't do. So know how and when to use a one-handed pass. And you have to coach players. If they aren't able to do that, tell them that's not a pass you should be making. You need two hands on the ball. Remember, we want to stay in close games. We want to keep possessions alive. We want to give ourselves a chance to score. All of those things mean that we have to protect the basketball. One simple way to do that is to tell 85% of your guys you can't make a one-handed pass, and tell that 15% of the players you can make a one-handed pass. That will eliminate things and keep that ball and that possession alive for you, so you have a chance to win. So if you're taking over a program and you're trying to rebuild a culture and you're trying to get it back on track, the fastest way to kind of demoralize everybody and to derail things is to let them turn the ball over. You let them turn it over, they'll lose. When they lose, they don't think they're any good. When they don't think they're any good, they're not going to believe in what you're doing. If you want players and you want a team to actually have a chance and you want to turn that culture around, you want to turn the level of play around in the program, eliminate turnovers, and you'll automatically start competing with teams that you hadn't competed with before. You give yourself a chance to win some games that you maybe hadn't won before. Doesn't mean you're going to go undefeated or you're going to win a championship right away, but it puts you in the path of players believing in what you're doing, your culture starting to change, and ultimately you're winning more games and you're competing at a higher level.